Hey guys, working on the 4runner again. Today we're going to be tackling a new storage box for the top of my roof rack. It's feeling a little empty up there and I wanted to have some more cargo room, so I went ahead and purchased this rifle case, as you can see here. And it's basically 52 inches wide, 7 inches tall, and about 13.5 inches deep. It actually comes with a lock as well and a key, so nobody can take your stuff. I'll show you guys how I'm going to mount it. These are all the tools you're going to need. We got some U-bolts, stainless steel. They actually only had 3, so I had to purchase a zinc one. I got some nylon locking nuts. I got 8 of those. There's 2 on here already. Some rubber washers. Hopefully this will keep some of the moisture off from the holes that I'll be drilling in. Some painter's tape to make it a little bit easier to mark the holes. Obviously a drill and a drill bit, a 1/4 inch drill bit. And I'll link all these items in the description for you guys. So let's take a look at the box real quick. It's got 4 latches. Pretty well made. It's a Plano box. Normally it's made for rifles, but I'm actually going to be storing camping gear in here. You can see it's got a weather seal up here as well. It's kind of nice. It's got a plucking mechanism, so you can fit basically any rifle you want. I'm obviously not going to be using that, or maybe I will actually, and maybe I'll pluck it out for my barbecue grill or something like that. Actually my propane stove, not my barbecue grill. You actually can remove the entire thing and just use it as a storage box. It's a lot cheaper than one of those roof mount, Tolly boxes, or some of those other ones. So let me show you guys how I'm going to actually mount this. I'll use this U-bolt as an example. Let me get some light for you guys. My cargo rack actually has round tubes on it. So this is going to go under the tube, and I'll show you guys later what that looks like. And then it's going to go through to this, and then we're going to put the rubber washers actually underneath here. Put this plate on top and then lock it down with these locking nuts, and that should be pretty weatherproof. And remember, this is actually going underneath. The holes are going to be going underneath the rack, so the water has to be shooting up for it to get into the box. And I'm actually going to test that later with a garden hose to see if it actually comes in. I doubt it will, because the nylon in here is also going to be making it a little bit more weatherproof as well. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll have one here, one over here, and then the same on the other 2 sides. Okay, so first thing we got to do is measure where we want these holes, because they have to line up with the current cargo rack that I have. Alright, so here's what my cargo rack looks like. Obviously you need a, any kind of cargo rack is going to work as long as it has crossbars. And mine here happens to be, about a 5/8 inch thickness here. I got a 3/4 inch inner width U-bolt that will go up there like that. Let me actually show you on the other one. So you can see here, it'll just go up like that. The box will sit on top, and I'll have 4 of those, 2 on this rail, and then 2 on the, somewhere back there. And then that should hold it down pretty good. Obviously these U-bolts are going to be too long, so most likely what I'll do is I'll cut off whatever I need here to make it as flush as possible. And then that'll keep it so that it doesn't poke up into some of my cargo that I'll be carrying. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is actually tape off the area that I want to drill into so I can mark it easier. So just put some blue tape on here. This is approximately where we're going to drill the first 2 holes. The nice thing about this case is all these lines here makes it easy to make it parallel, so that when it goes on the rack it's going to go on straight. Otherwise you're going to be a little bit crooked if you don't measure properly. So we'll do this on both sides. You know, one side's going to be pretty easy to figure out. You know, obviously you want to be as even as possible, but you know, I don't think this thing's going to go anywhere once the U-bolts are in, so I don't think it needs to be 100% accurate. And if you want to be 100% accurate, then you can use a tape measure and, you know, measure where these things are going to start out at, measure how wide the bars are across, and then, you know, do the same holes on the other side. But to keep this simple and quick, really all you need to do is, you know, take your U-bolt and put it on here, and that'll give you your first two holes, and then transfer that mark over here. And then what you want to do is put this box on the rack, make sure those holes line up with the other one, tighten it down, and then go to the other side and mark where those holes need to be, because, you know, obviously the roof rack can't change. And then you'll have your 8 holes and you'll be good to go. And let me show you what I mean. Alright, so here's what I was talking about. So, got it on my rack right now. And you can see, hopefully you can see how one of the bars, so here's one of those bars right here, this guy right here, and you can see how it lines up directly with this blue tape, and that's what you want, you know, because that's where you're going to drill it. You put the U-bolt through here into the cargo box, and you want it as centered as possible. Obviously, I mean, you're going to have a lot of room to work with because you got a lot of space here. But the other thing you have to consider is back here, you got to do the same thing, and you got to actually have a, you know, another crossbar here to use. So right now, see how this one is going to be right over here? It's not going to be quite centered, so what I'm going to do is slide the box back a little bit. So now this one is looking a lot better. So it's, you know, it's going to be right about there. And let's check the front again. And now the front is, it's right here on my finger, it's going to be right about here. That's perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill 2 holes here first, and over here, make them line up so we know it's straight, and then head to the back, and make sure those line up, and then we'll have 4 of these, and then we'll stick them through and we'll get the install done. Alright guys, so we went ahead and drilled 2 holes. You can see here, these guys. And what we want to do is transfer this hole to this side as well. And you know, you can use whatever method you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure it from this edge, since the other side has the same edge. And I've got, lucky for me, 4 inches right to the center of that first hole. And then the other hole is right on at 5. So I'm going to measure that on the other side, and we'll just drill those holes out as well. Now one thing to note is that this doesn't need to be perfect, since, you know, the hole itself is going to have some give. So you'll be able to adjust it slightly to make sure that it's nice and centered and straight to your rack. So I'm not too concerned if it's not 100% accurate, but measure twice, drill once, right? So let's go ahead and drill these holes out. So one thing I'm going to do first is actually drill a pilot hole, since I noticed that these other holes over here started wandering. So I'm going to go ahead with a smaller drill bit, and it doesn't really matter if this is centered or not, because I mean, we're going to have room to slide it side to side. So let's go ahead and get this one started. And then get this one started. And this one actually needs to be straight. Or close enough. Alright. Let's go ahead and step it up. Actually, one thing you can do to make sure that it's correct is you can just put this guy over it and make sure that it lines up. And it looks like it does. do it for this side. Test fit our hole and let's see. She goes through, no problem. Now it's a little tight. One thing what you can do is you can take the drill bit and leave the 1/4" one in, and you can drill it side to side, and that'll make the hole a little bit bigger, so that gives you a little bit more flex. Alright guys, so these are the final parts you're going to need for the assembly. I'm still going to need to figure out how much I need to trim this U-bolt down first, but once we trim those down, really, these are all the things that we're going to need to assemble it. We just got a little 7/16 socket here, and we should be good to go. One thing you'll notice is one of my rubber washers is the wrong size. That's what happens when you just pull stuff out of the Lowe's drawer and don't check it. So I'll go ahead and swap those out when I get a chance. But we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off about ½ an inch. And that should do it. Alright, so I got them all marked. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it with this Dremel. And we can start assembling. Alright, let's go ahead and get these guys in now. Make sure they still fit, which they do. Sometimes they don't. You can easily bend these so that they will. So let's go ahead and get this in. Alright, let's see here. Make some final adjustments once we get the other side in as well. Alright, let me go to the other side to get that one in. Alright. Alrighty, we're in. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other side in, and then we're going to do some final adjustments. Alright, we got her all tightened up, and she's not going nowhere. Let's test her out. Okay. The nice thing about this is once you lock the hatch, you can't steal it, because you got to be able to open it to get inside to take off the nuts. So you should be able to prevent theft as well. Undo the latches, no problem. And I can store a bunch of gear. It's pretty good. I don't think this is going anywhere, so I was contemplating if I should put 2 more here, 1 on each side, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. So that's how she sits. It's not too bad. Surprisingly, she actually still fits under the garage. That's why I like this low profile box. Just to give you guys an idea of what actually fits in here, I put a bunch of stuff in here that I normally would take if I were to go fishing or, you know, camping somewhere. So let me show you what I got. So we got 2 chairs. These are those folding chairs. I got my butane burner. As you can see, the whole thing fits in here. I got a recovery rope, which I don't carry with me, but I wanted to show you guys anyways. Cooking pan, some propane. My fishing rod actually breaks up and fits in here as well, which is kind of nice. Got an umbrella back there in case I want some shade. And you can see everything kind of fits in here pretty nicely. Frees up the back and, you know, closes no problem. It's hard to do this with one hand, but yeah, there you go, ready to go. Here's how she sits on the rack. Alright guys, time to do the water test. We're going to see and spray water from down under and see if it gets inside. As you guys can see, no water. Which is good enough. I mean, there's a little water in there. Another rubber washer will probably prevent all of that, but I don't think I have enough threads.